Alright, in this video we're going to take a look at problem 2-1. You're going to be using your template for this. So when you start a new drawing, make sure you select that template, and once you complete the model development, you're going to use the Paperspace layout to make your presentation. Now the scale that's shown here is suggested, so please try to limit your selection to the A-size portrait or A-size landscape when you do your presentation. Make sure you include your reference lines, all your dimensions, and that you set the appropriate scale for the viewport and annotations. Alright, so what I'll do here is let's get started with a brand new drawing. Now, since you guys are using your template, I want you guys to save it into your personal folders and not into the system folder. I put a copy here just to make it easier for us to continue. I'll click OK here. Brings us to the layout. I'm going to switch to the model. Now you recall we're not going to be using the drawing limits here because we're going to be using our layouts, so I'm going to turn that off. Just looking at the drawing, I want to think about what other drafting settings I want to work with. If I take a look at my polar settings here, I've got 15 degrees. For the most part, I think that could work. Okay, if I need anything more specific, I can just use direct input. And I've got some basic OSNAP settings here, as you can see. Let's just jump right into it. You can see your annotation scale set 1:1. I'm going to begin first with the centerline layer. I'm going to establish first a vertical construction line. So I'm going to use construction line, XL there, and then a vertical option, just anywhere in the drawing area here. And then I'll set up my 3 other reference lines. You can see that we have, in this view here, you can see we have 60 degrees typical. So once again, if I just use a line this time, I can start from the midpoint there. And you'll notice because I have my polar settings here, there's 30, there's the 60, and then we can draw another line. Alright. We've got this at 330. As you can see there, here's our 0, that's 30 there, plus another 30, that gives us the 60-degree angle. Alright. And then we have another reference edge over here that's at 80 degrees from the vertical, which would also be 170 degrees. So if I'm not able to set that with my current polar settings, I can come over here and switch. Just switch to 10-degree increments, and you can see there's our 170. Alright, now we've got a bolt circle there too, and you can see that that is a diameter of 450 for this reference edge here. So we'll start at the beginning, at the center there, with a circle. Use D for the option for diameter, and we'll do 450 and enter. So there's a few of these reference lines. Now what we could do is we could actually put in our interior and exterior circles and then do the pattern of circles as well. Okay, but before we do that, I'm going to switch layers to the object layer here, and let's do one set of circles starting at the top. We've got there a diameter of 750, so D for diameter, 750. And then we have a radius of 750. So starting from the same point, and this time radius, we've got 0.750. Alright. Now what we could do is we could take both circles using a crossing window selection, right click, use copy selection, specify the first base point, which is the center of the circles there, and then we'll take it to the intersections with these construction lines. And then enter to complete the command. So now that we have our copy of our concentric circles at each of those intersections, let's do the inner and outer circle, and then we could work on doing the filleting. So we've got an inner circle of radius 150. Start from the center there, type in 150 for the radius, and then we have a radius of 2 starting from the same point, same center point there, and then our radius of 2. All right. Now, in order to create those fillet corners, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the trim mode of the fillet command. So if we look at fillet here, take a look at your command line, you're going to see there, we look at the option for T for trim. Okay, we're going to set it to no trim. We're going to set the radius, enter R. We're going to set the radius there for 250, enter. And since we're doing multiple radii, I'm going to select the option M for multiple and then enter. So be careful here with the sequence of steps, but now as we continue, I'm going to zoom in, okay, so I can see my work, select my circle and then that outer circle, and just continue all the way around till I got all my fillet corners there. And again, the reason why we don't want to trim this just yet is because we want to keep most of that arc there to form the shape that we have with our fillet corners, okay? And then enter to escape. Now what we'll do is we'll use trim, and once again I'll go back in and select each of those fillet corners that I created, and we'll use these as the trimming edges. So once I have them all selected, then I'll hit enter, and then now as I get closer, now I can select the correct side of the both circles that I want to trim. Okay, so here's this edge and then this portion, this edge and this portion, this edge and this portion, and same thing here. Okay, if we review the drawing one more time, that seems to look like we have it complete. We've got all our geometry there.